If you're a single woman, if you're in your 30s, or you're just curious to hear some real talk, stick with me. Because now I'm going to share with you some of the life lessons that I've learned as a single woman in my 30s. Society throws so many expectations on women, especially when it comes to relationships, timelines, and what we should be doing. But my journey has taught me that there is so much freedom, growth, and joy in embracing life just as it is, even if it is not exactly what you would expect it to be. So, if you're navigating a similar path, I'm sure that you could relate to all the things I'm about to tell you. When I was younger, I used to believe that I needed a partner in order to feel whole. Society pushes this idea that your life begins when you find the one, and it can be really easy to internalize these type of thoughts. But I've come to realize that being single does not mean that I'm missing something, it just means that I'm living life on my own terms. Of course, I had my portions of low moments, and let me tell you about a time when I really felt pressured to settle down. A couple of years ago, I went to a wedding, and I remember feeling like everybody around me was just looking at me thinking, when is it going to be her turn? And there were some people coming to me asking me whether I was married, whether I had kids. And the moment I replied that I was not married, that I did not have kids, they started telling me things like, oh, but what is wrong with you? What are you waiting for? Nobody's going to want you. You're already over 30. And the thing is that most of these people were women who rushed to get married in their 20s, who felt pressured to do it. And most of them were already divorced. They divorced pretty early. And they were not happy in their lives. They were not happy with their choices. And at the same time, they were trying to force me to do the same type of decisions that they did so that they could feel better about themselves. I couldn't make any other sense of that. Why would you force somebody to do the same thing you did, even if it didn't make you happy? And that moment taught me that I don't need somebody else's timeline to define my worth. And I had so much to celebrate on my own. I'm not waiting for my life to happen. It is my life right here and right now, and I'm making the most of it. There is so much freedom in knowing that I am responsible for my own happiness. And I don't need anybody else to complete me because I'm already whole. And so are you, darling. This perspective has been so empowering. I'm building a life that I love, and if somebody comes along, great. But if not, I'm living fully. I'm not going to put my life on hold just because I'm single, just because some people may think that I'm a half person. I'm not. I'm completely whole. In my 20s, I have put so much focus on finding the one that I didn't realize the depth and the value of my friendships. But as I have grown older, I've started to appreciate how amazing it is to have strong and supportive friends who feel like family. Friends are there to celebrate with you, to support you, and even call you out when you need it. And that is crucial, especially in critical moments, darling. Especially when you keep making the same mistakes, especially when you keep going to the same people who hurt you, to the same people who abuse you emotionally or mentally, people who manipulate you. The thing is that oftentimes we get blinded by our feelings and we may need somebody to guide us in the right direction. Because oftentimes we see our relationships the way we want them to be, not what they truly are. And only real friends can call you out and tell you that you keep making the same mistake, that you deserve better, that you can do better and you don't need to settle for less than what you deserve. And I'm so happy that I had such type of friends by my side in some of the most critical moments in my life. Because I have found myself being part of relationships which were not healthy, being part of relationships which were not good for me just because I really wanted to settle. I really wanted to be in a relationship like everybody else was. But the thing is that I was not happy. I was betraying myself by staying in toxic relationships which were not bringing any value to my life, but they were just taking. They were taking too much time and energy of me, and I was not feeling myself. Darling, that's why you need to appreciate your friends because they are the ones that will stick by your side when some of your partners may leave you behind. So many of us are taught to prioritize everybody else before ourselves. But I'm gonna tell you, darling, that there is so much power in choosing yourself. As a former people pleaser, I used to take care of everybody else's needs over mine. But in the end, I have drained myself and I was feeling exhausted most of the time. And that was not healthy. That was not good for me. You are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to pursue your passions and build a life that is unapologetically yours. This time is not about waiting for someone to come along. This time is about figuring out what makes you come alive, darling. What you want is not less important than what everybody else wants. Always remember that. Putting yourself first is not selfish. It is a necessity if you want to protect yourself and your peace. I remember at one point I was really holding myself back because I thought real life would begin once I have a partner to share it with. But when I let go of that mindset, everything changed for me. I took that trip. I started this YouTube channel and I became my own biggest cheerleader. And now if somebody comes into my life, they will meet someone who is whole and fulfilled on her own. If somebody comes into my life, they need to bring value. They need to make my life better because I already have it good on my own. And I have no time or energy to invest in a relationship that would make my life worse. That would make me feel less than, because I know my worth now. I know I'm worthy, regardless of what everybody else thinks. And everybody has the right to think whatever they want. I know who I am because I have invested a lot of time getting to know myself, getting to know what is important for me and what is not. What can I tolerate and what not. And this time is truly precious. Investing in you is one of the best things you can do, sweetheart. When I was younger, I used to think that happiness would come from external things, from a relationship, from a promotion, even from getting the perfect flat. But now I have realized that happiness is an inside job. It is about finding peace and joy in your own company. And I have started incorporating things that make me feel happy on a daily basis, whether that is journaling, meditating, or just spending a quiet morning with a cup of tea, saying positive affirmations. How I feel matters. Taking care of my feelings and of my needs matters more than I used to believe. Building a strong relationship with myself is a top priority now, and that contentment is something that nobody else can give you. So prioritize the relationship with you, darling. Focus on you whenever you need to. Take time to do things for yourself. Do whatever you need to. Nourish yourself. Recharge your batteries. Take some me time because you deserve it. In your 30s, you may feel like it is time to be settling by now. And trust me, I know what it feels like. I've been pressured by my family and some of my relatives to try to settle down, to stop changing jobs or pursuing new career paths, to stop moving cities, because that's the right thing to do, according to them, according to society. But here is the thing, this is my life, and I don't have to play by anybody else's rules, and this is your life, sweetheart. You don't need to do what everybody else tell you is right. You do what feels right for you. Just because I'm in my 30s does not mean that I'm too late to change careers, to learn a new skill, or to change directions completely. I have every right to do so. If I feel like doing it, I can do it. There was a point when I thought that I had to choose between stability and passion. But now I do believe that you can combine them both. You can have a job that brings you some income, but you can also have a side hustle or a hobby that lights you up, that you work on because you love doing it and you want to develop that new thing. It is okay to try to explore new things. It is okay to try to reinvent who you are if you feel like that. So if there's anything you're passionate about, darling, go for it. Whether that is switching careers or moving to a new city or starting to play the piano, do it. If you feel that is your calling, perhaps it is. A friend of mine started her business at 35 and it's thriving. Watching her going after her dreams reminded me that age is just a number. Age doesn't have to define your potential, darling, although society wants us to believe that. But remember, you choose what to believe in. Thank you for watching and spending some time with me today. I really hope that these lessons resonated with you. Remember that you are exactly where you need to be, and there is so much beauty and freedom in living life on your own terms. If this video gave you something to think about, or if you have a lesson of your own, please share it in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!